I have 10 different straight mutes to show you from 8 different makers, and I'm going to play the same little excerpt on each one so you can hear the differences that I'm talking about. A very common first straight mute is the Humenberg stone-lined, the red and white mute that is so common in the trumpet world. Old-style cone-shaped mutes like this are not often used in orchestra playing anymore, but they're still very popular in things like jazz bands, jazz combos. They have a little bit lighter, less buzzy sound, and they're often made out of wood or cardboard. There's also examples out there that you'll find that are plastic. These particular ones are made out of cardboard with a special coating of a fancy paint that they call stone-lined. Next up is another cone-shaped mute. This one is from Dennis Wick out of London, and they call it their wood straight mute. It is a little bit shorter than the Humenberg, you'll see. The sound is quite different from the Humenberg. It's a buzzier sound, which makes this a really, really awesome mute for quiet passages where you still want to have that really zippy, almost metallic-like sound. Next up, we have this really cool plastic straight mute from Hawkins Mutes, also out of the UK. It's very angular and neat. I like this one a lot. These mutes are designed with orchestra trumpet players in mind. They're designed to project into large concert halls and hold their intonation across the whole range of the trumpet without too much adjustment. I would compare the sound of these Hawkins mutes to a little bit closer to metal than I would to a wood or fiber mute. Next up, one of my favorites. This is the carbon fiber straight mute from ProTech. It's made out of super cool braided carbon fiber. One really neat thing about this mute is that when you play it in a soft passage, it behaves similar to a fiber or a wood or a cardboard mute in timbre, but when you really start to press on the gas, it starts to sound more metallic. That is a very, very useful feature for a trumpet player, especially say in an orchestra where you're playing a piece where you have to go from super loud to super soft very quickly without having a chance to change mutes. Next up, you might notice this is not a straight mute, it's a cup mute. This is the Harman J1 triple play mute. It is a cup mute, but it's also a straight mute and a plunger mute. Similar to the Dennis Wick wood mute, the more conical shaped metal straight mutes tend to be really useful for quiet passages. Another slightly more conical straight mute is this Alessi Vacchiano mute from LeBlanc. This mute has changed its design quite a bit over the years. So if you're buying a brand new one, it's going to play and look very different from one that you buy that might be 10, 20, 30 years old. These are another one that are very, very useful in quiet passages. Next up is the Humenberg Symphonic Metal Straight Mute. Humenberg is very well known for their red and white cardboard mutes. This one is made out of metal. As you can see, we're starting to move away from a pure conical shape to more of a trumpet bell flared out shape. And what that's doing is that's helping round out the intonation a little bit better. This mute projects and speaks much louder than the traditional red and white Humenberg Stoneline mute. Up next, I have 2 different straight mutes from Trumcore. These are both made out of metal, and they're both the same design. The difference is the end of the mute. This one is made completely out of aluminum, while this one is an aluminum top with a brass bottom. These can also be bought with a copper bottom. It's very, very common to see the same exact mute made in all aluminum with a brass bottom and with a copper bottom. The all aluminum mute tends to be a little bit brighter, a little bit more nasally. The brass bottom has a reputation for having a broad sound that still has the projection of the aluminum, and the copper bottom has the reputation of having a little bit darker sound that maybe doesn't project quite as well as the aluminum, but the sound is more unique. Next up is the Joe Rowell straight mute. This one has a copper bottom. This is another one that comes in aluminum, copper, or brass bottom. The Joe Rowells are a fantastic choice for a first straight mute for a middle school or high school trumpet player because they play relatively well in tune, they have a really good sound, and they match well across the section. The Joe Rowell mutes are excellent for really loud muted trumpet playing like Pines of Rome or Ein Heldenleben. And last up is one of my personal favorites. This is the Gemini straight mute from Tom Crown Mutes. I personally own 3 different versions of this mute. Just like the Joe Rowell and the Trum Corps before, they make it in all aluminum with the copper bottom and with the brass bottom. They also make it in full copper and in full brass. I own this mute with a brass bottom, in all aluminum, and in all copper, and I use all 3 very regularly. This mute is widely used in professional orchestras because it plays very well in tune, and it's not a loud mute or a soft mute. It is very much a good all-around straight mute. This is one of my top recommendations for all the straight mutes available here at the Trumpet Shop.